Hello booktube, hello book friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel and another reading week wrap up video. This one for Saturday the 11th of October 2025. I've only finished one book this week, which is not surprising because it's been a busy week, but is a little bit unusual for me. But I have been reading a few other things as well. But let's talk about the book that I finished. I think I mentioned this last week as a ongoing read, and that was Dracula's Guest and Other Weird Stories by Bram Stoker. Now, this is a short story collection plus the novel The Lair of the White Worm, and I thoroughly enjoyed this overall. There were a couple of the short stories weren't great, but most of them were really good. A couple was quite super creepy. Dracula's Guest is a relatively short story, although it's the kind of title story. But yeah, I would thoroughly recommend this. Then the short stories aren't long, so you can kind of pick it up and put it down really as you want and still, have kind of completed a story in that time. Lair of the White Worm, I didn't know this until it was pointed out, but there are two versions of that story. There's a 40 chapter version, which is what is in here, and then a shorter, I think it's about 25 chapter version, which there's a lot cut out. As I understand it, I haven't read the shorter version, but I think the ending in particular is kind of reduced quite significantly. The Lair of the White Worm basically is the story of I've forgotten his name. That's embarrassing, having just finished this. It's the story of a young man who, Adam Sultan, who is receives a letter from his uncle inviting him to come, basically stay with him, live with him, with a view to inheriting his uncle's or great uncle's estate, because he is the only kind of surviving relative. So he travels from Australia to arrives at Southampton and then travels up to the Midlands where the estate is, and it's evident from kind of the time that he gets there that all is not as it seems. There are some strange characters going on, and without giving too much away, things get spooky from there onwards. It's an interesting story. It has a great kind of it reads really quickly, and the story is really interesting, and the ending is, well, at least in the 40 chapter version, is quite satisfying. So I would, if you could pick up either The Lair of the White Worm separately or this compendium edition, it's really worth a read. So yeah, I enjoyed that. And then other things that I've had on the go, I'm in the middle of a small group read with Pat from Book Chat with Pat, Lecton from Reading from the Depths, Maria Andrea from Books and Boccadillos, and Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic of Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary. I don't think I mentioned this last week. I don't know why. I've obviously just forgot. We've started this at the beginning of October, and we're reading it over kind of the first 3-ish weeks. So this today is the end of the second week. We've got a small Voxer group which we're discussing our thoughts on. I won't say too much about it because after this I need to go and sort of put my thoughts into the Voxer group. We're doing it in 3 chunks, as I say. So we did chapters 1 to 10 in the first week. 11 to 20 in the second, and then 21 to 30 in the coming week. I think pretty much unanimously we're all enjoying it. We've all got kind of different questions about different bits of it, but yeah, it's going quite well. I mean, and I'm enjoying the kind of interplay in the Voxer group as well. So yeah, that's going to be a film soon, I think, as well. I've been advised not to watch the film trailer until I finish the book, so there are obviously spoilers in the trailer. The other two things I've been reading this week, one is just a book I've been dipping in and out of every kind of day or so. The naturalist, activist, environmentalist, generally lovely human being Jane Goodall passed away in the last week, as you probably know. And I've been rereading one of her early books, In the Shadow of Man, which is about her first kind of big assignment, which was with chimpanzees in Gombe, in what was then Tanzania. No, Tanganyika. It's now Tanzania. And sort of tells how she sort of got that job basically with no formal qualifications at the time. She later went on to do a PhD and so on, but she didn't at the time have any formal qualifications. I mentioned this last week as well, I think. So yeah, just been dipping into that, not kind of reading it cover to cover, but taking my time. And then finally, the other book that I started yesterday, and sort of my kind of current read, other than the Project Hail Mary Tassley bookmark, is the Ratline by Philippe Sands, and the subtitle "Love, Lies and Justice on the Trail of a Nazi Fugitive." So the Ratline is basically the name given to the escape route for Nazis who were trying to leave Germany at the end of the Second World War and escape to South America, primarily Argentina, to avoid prosecution at Nuremberg and, be held accountable for the crimes and atrocities that they committed. So this is about the the Nazi who was the governor of Galicia, who is Otto van Vector, and it's kind of told through the eyes of Philippe Sands, who was researching some of his own family connections, which is also told in his book East West Street. And this is his well, I don't quite know what the rest of the book's going to say, but this primarily is about him tracking down what happened to Otto van Vector, because he didn't make it to Argentina. He died in 1949, I think in Rome, before he left for Argentina. So this draws on Sands's kind of conversations with Otto van Vector's son, Horst, and plus research in archives and so on. So I'm not that far through at the moment, but it is absolutely fascinating. So Horst very much believes that his father and mother were not guilty of the crimes they're accused of, that they were, to quote, only following orders. But it is clear that, from the documentary evidence, that Otto van Vector was very guilty, and probably his wife if not guilty by association, was probably some kind of accomplice. But yeah, as I say, I only read the first sort of 40-50 pages, but I'm enjoying it. So hopefully I'll finish that in the coming week, and I'll report back next week. And that, as they say, is that. I did want to also mention, you may have seen that on Sunday the 19th, so a week tomorrow, I'm doing a Ask Me Anything live to celebrate being on booktube for 1 year. So next Sunday is, or Sunday week rather, is the first anniversary of my channel going live, my booktube newbie video, which is still up if you really want to go back and see how bad it was. And a few weeks ago I did a call for questions. If you missed that video and still would like to ask me a question, just drop one in the comments of this video, and I'll add them to the list of questions that we've got. My friend Greg from Ghost Readers in the Sky is going to get up early and come on and ask me questions that you guys have submitted. I know he's submitted one of his own. We will also take questions on the day if you want to watch the live and ask a question there. We will probably limit it to an hour or 90 minutes or something like that. Hopefully in that time we can get through all of the questions. If not, I'll have to think about doing a separate video, I guess. But I don't think we've got so many. I don't think we've got as many as Pat has recently had for her. Was it 5? No, it wasn't 5 year. 5,000 subscribers. Because I think she did 4 videos. So yeah, we'll see. But that's the plan, and you're more than welcome either to come and enjoy that live or watch it later. It will stay up afterwards. So yeah, whichever one of those options floats your boat, or not watch it at all. The choice is yours. But yeah, that's the plan for a week on Sunday. So there'll be a video like this on Saturday, and then on Sunday there'll be a live. So yeah, if you've got any questions that you haven't already, if you've already asked on the previous video, then I've got your question. But yeah, if you've thought of anything since, or you didn't see that, or you're a new subscriber and want to ask, then drop a comment down below and we'll add it to the list of questions for Greg to ask me. So that's it. If you have been, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.